What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Becoming Stronger podcast. I'm your host, Will DeBeast, and today we're sitting down with the UK Pro Muscle podcast, and I'm really looking forward to this episode. But I have some pretty big news before we get into the interview. We are now on SoundCloud and Spotify. If you want to check out all these podcasts on different platforms, we made it happen. And also, 65% of the viewers aren't subscribed to the Will DeBeast Fitness channel, and that's absolutely crazy. So if you really want to help out this channel, go and hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds, and it really helps us out a lot. So with all that being said, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and let's get into this week's episode. So I'm here with part of the UK Muscle Bodybuilding podcast group. First off, I just want to ask, who the heck came up with this name for the show? Because I think it's too long.
Jamie, who was it? Who was it? I don't even know.
I think it's whatever sounded good. Maybe in the UK it's not much of a tongue twister, but for you guys it is. I don't know.
I don't even know who it was. Was it you, Jay?
I think me and Q was conferring names, and then he said something, and I said UK Pro Muscle Podcast.
It sounds like something Kuba would say, because he likes things to be right.
And then we was like, yeah, that sounds all right, we'll go with it.
He'll think it sounds technical.
Yeah.
And speaking of Kuba, he isn't here yet. He said that he was open all day today, and that seems to be not true at all.
Well, anyone who knows Kuba knows you'll be doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's,
Kuba time.
Yeah.
I have even admittedly tried to chase Kuba today myself, and to little success. So that's why we said, we'll get the record button going, and me and Jamie will at least get things off the ground. And if Kuba somehow magically turns up, he does. If he doesn't, then, like I say, firm words that we're going towards Kuba.
Yes, definitely.
Well, you got Rolex time, Will. You got Breitling time. Then you got Kuba time. Kuba time is whatever he wants it to be.
Yeah.
Like an hour to 2 days late.
Yeah. Now, I saw that the UK is opening back up. What have you guys been doing recently? Anything cool?
Oh, man, haven't even. So Monday, innit, Jay? Everything opens up that we can go and eat actually in restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, Jamie, you're now, like you said prior to recording, you're like, what, 6 weeks out?
6 weeks out now, yeah. So that's me done.
So there's no restaurant visits for Big J. I might be able to sneak in a couple. But really, to be fair, there's nothing else that we do inside, is there, Jay? Like,
no.
As a professional bodybuilder, most of your comforts are at home, like playing the PlayStation, seeing friends. So the opening up of the country really hasn't done much because we're hermits, quite frankly, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in lockdown 24/7, aren't we? No matter if there's a lockdown or not.
I think the only thing that's like kind of helping is that they're starting to greenlight certain countries for travel now. So it opens up options for especially. I don't know what countries are on the green list or are coming on the green list, but it certainly makes it easier to do competitions abroad, which was an issue, maybe a few weeks back. We're still having trouble with travel to America, but there is ways around it at current. But right now, you'd have to go to certain countries first, like I was saying to you guys earlier. So, but not a lot's happening. Jamie, you're just kicking ass in the gym. I'm just watching your videos on Instagram.
We're both kicking some ass. But like you say, it's what we do, isn't it? It's our life. So I was just talking to Miss on the walk, to be fair, saying that we have a restricted lifestyle, but that's what it is. It is what it is.
It's a choice. It's a choice, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to going to sit down and having a coffee inside the coffee shop.
Yes.
Because at the minute, it's still takeaway until Monday, and then we're good to go. So
yeah, to be fair,
that's exciting for me.
Yeah. I think that's one thing bodybuilders look forward to, isn't it? Like an iced. Me personally, I remember like hanging around with Jordan, and we'd go and get an iced tea, or a cold brew, and just sit down and catch up. Because, like you say, when you're on a diet, what can you have other than a coffee?
No, man. I ain't even had a pizza for like 4 weeks.
That's not like you at all.
Cold turkey. No, nothing's touching my lips anytime soon. Funny, I've been stuck at around 303, 304. And we made some changes the other day after I decided to do the show, which we'll probably discuss in a minute. Yeah. And my weight this morning was 299, so I sent him 299. We're dropping lowest weight so far, yeah. And he said to me in capitals, "Do not have a cheat without my say so," because he knows what I'm thinking. 299 pizza.
Yeah. $2.99 means you got to get something to eat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I can't wait to go to like the movie theater again and like go to like stand-up comedy and like concerts. I want to like go out and experience those things again because before COVID happened, I was really starting to do those things and I was really enjoying it. But I would like to go back there and
cinema. Yeah, cinema is something I've missed actually because I like to go and watch a film, and there's been a few films I've watched lately not in the cinema because they're not, obviously you can watch them from streaming. It's not the same, you know. We were discussing obviously Mortal Kombat before came on, and like as though it's not an amazing film, I feel it would have been still a better experience in the cinema, you know. So
yeah, definitely.
I feel that.
But. Now, did any of you see the new Venom trailer with Carnage, like Venom 2?
I did. I'm not that impressed, if I'm honest. What about you?
Yeah, I think it looks exactly the same as the first one.
It doesn't look very. It's a bit childlike, isn't it? It hasn't got like that maturity to it. Like Venom's meant to be like quite a scary character, and there's none of that.
Yeah. I was really thinking that they were gonna like put everything into this new movie and make it like way better than the last one, but it kind of looks the same, and I'm kind of disappointed about that because Venom is like my favorite character. So.
Same, and I think the tone should have been going down the route of your Dark Knights, you know.
Yeah.
Take the character somewhere a bit more grounded, and a bit more real, and a bit more dark. But they know that the first one made a lot of money, and this one's just going to do the same. It's just going to be the same thing over again. I heard it made like it made a lot of money. I can't remember how much, but I'm sure if we were to like,
I think it was like almost $1 billion, right?
Yeah. It's just because it's Tom Hardy, isn't it? Like you put Tom Hardy in a film with a character from anything, whether it be Marvel, Capcom, anything like that, it's gonna, it's gonna blow, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about you, Jamie? Are you excited for that, or did you see the first one?
I saw the first one. Yeah, I'm with James. I think it was a bit not as serious and intense as I would have expected. But I've not seen the trailer. It'd be interesting to do on like the movie and cinema side, what they do with capacity and how they're going to do that, because that could really affect obviously the profits they can make from the films.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to do like one seat for one seat, like space in between each seat, or because they're only going to maybe they won't let it fall. Maybe they won't let it get full. I don't know.
Yeah. I can't wait till all systems go and things are back to normal. You can rub up next to each other and cough on each other.
Yeah. I just want to be able to get like on a plane and go straight to the States rather than all this chocolate home.
Yeah. What are they saying for the States at the minute, James?
So right now, I said to Will earlier, like you still have to go to like Mexico for 2 weeks or to Dubai, and then you go from the back of that. So you can't be in the UK for 2 weeks prior to your travel, which just doesn't make sense because I'm a British person that can go to another country where things still exist, and then I'm actually eligible to enter the country. I don't get it. I'm a bit confused, but you're gonna have to do what you're gonna do. Because I said to Jamie, I'm looking to try and get over to the States maybe for some of my prep for the Olympia.
Yeah, that'd be
good. And it's like I don't think you should change your environment too much, because obviously your environment is what's got you to the point you're at. But you do sometimes get to a point where things are a bit stale and you do fancy a change. And I felt like it'd probably be a nice change and a little bit of a kick up the bum, getting ready for the Olympia around other people. But if it's not the right thing to do, maybe it won't work out. Maybe I'll have to just do my prep here and then go late. But I suppose see, won't we?
I think it depends. Very important factor of prep is who you're surrounded by as well. So if you're going to be surrounded by quality athletes, which you will be, I can only see it being a good thing. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like the amenities as well. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, let's say we go out and I'm in Boca where Redcon is. Things like physiotherapy, treatments like that. Like, they're all going to be on hand. You're going to get looked after. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about, because I always think in the US like to be slightly more advanced in those aspects.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I just definitely want all this to be like over with. I've had enough of it.
But how restricted is it where you are, Will? Like, what can you do? What you can't you do?
Well, in some states, I know it's like not strict at all. Like in like Texas and like some parts of California and Florida, they act like COVID's not a thing, because I know the Canelo boxing match was just a couple days ago, and it was in Texas, and there were 70,000 people there, and none of them were wearing masks. So like there they act like nothing's happening,
Yeah.
but like in other parts you have to like wear a mask outside. Like it's the law where you have to wear it outside where no one could be around you and you still have to wear it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's different.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because there's no like level ground. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, it's awkward. It's awkward, and it's hard to have an opinion because you don't like. Number one, like I don't know enough about everything that's going on to have an opinion, really. So it's tough, but you know, we can all say what we want from this and what we want the world to be like now, but it's hard to really have a say when no one really knows what's going on. All I know is like, say the Olympia's happening in Florida, and Florida's open, and things seem to be normal. And as far as I know, like everyone I know that lives in Florida is fine. So it's really hard to know what's what. It is hard.
Yeah,
it is hard.
Yeah, I know that like here, like they're still trying. Like here in Connecticut, we still have to like wear masks and everything. But I know that they're trying to like open stuff up more. But I know it's gonna probably take another couple months or so.
Yeah.
But I think that what they're saying now is that if you get like both vaccines, you won't have to like wear a mask in like stores or anything like that. So yeah. But
I've just seen a lot of people posting sharing the post of the president's post on Twitter, and like a lot of angry Americans are saying this isn't freedom. But I don't know, you know what? It's hard to again I'm in America, so I don't know who's politically what standpoint you are or whoever is, and I would hate to be someone that you know interferes and has a negative opinion towards either side. I just know that there's a lot of turmoil right now. There's a lot of questions being asked.
I think that's what I'm like, James. You know, I want to do my own thing. I don't care what other people do. I just want to do my own thing and be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
If someone else wants the vaccine, fine, go and have it. If someone else doesn't, I don't care.
Yeah, either way, yeah. Just do what's right for you.
Yeah, well, again, that goes back to freedom and human rights and all that bullshit.
Yeah,
seems like it's been stripped away from us quite a lot. Fingers crossed, as they say.
Yeah.
That's why I've got fingers and toes crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, in California, it's not doing too great. Like right now, it's starting to like get a lot more strict. You know, I don't even know where we're going anymore with this.
No, I know. Madness. That's why I'm just hoping that things still happen. Like, I pray, you know, that Puerto Rico show goes on, happens nicely, nothing gets in the way of that.
You never know. I might get stuck in the Bahamas.
That's not bad. That's not bad thing.
I don't think the missus would be too happy, to be fair.
No. Just true. That's true. Away from home.
Now, Jamie, I know that you're a couple weeks out from your show, so you want to like tell everyone like what happened and what's like going to happen?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people will know that I was doing the Portugal show, which is 9 weeks away. 9 weeks today, to be precise. Well, I sent my check-in photos to my coach, Jordan Peters. A lot of people know that. On Thursday, we check in Mondays and Thursdays at the minute. I was happy with how I looked in terms of 9 weeks, and so was he. And I saw the Italian Andre Presti. He was doing a show that says 7 weeks out on Instagram. So I'm like, man, this 7 weeks. What show's he doing? I don't think I'm too far away if I push for 7 weeks. I'm like, you know, it's going to be close, but I need to push. Anyway, I spoke to Jordan, found out that he was doing the Puerto Rico Pro Show, which is in the Bahamas, which, to be fair, I was originally planning on doing back in January. But because of the state of COVID, worldwide logistics and travel, I just thought it'd be too difficult to manage that, and thought that Portugal being Europe had been far easier to zone in on. Yeah. But I am impatient, and I'm very much, when I have an idea, I grab it and I take it, and I can't relax on it. I can't let it go. So I was very adamant that I thought I could do this show in 7 weeks. Little did I know that I seen a post from Andre Munzi the day after saying 6.5 weeks out. So I was like, man, one says 7, one says 6. Why is it? So I checked and it was 6 fucking weeks out. Excuse me for swearing. I've lost a week. So here's a man going for 9 weeks, now going for 6. I've lost 3 weeks in total. Not only that, but the flights goes out on Monday because there's no flights other than Monday and Thursday. I can't fly on Thursday because too close to the event. Yeah, so I got Monday. So really now it's only 5 weeks until I fly there to compete. So I've lost 4 weeks of my competition diet.
Jesus.
But in all fairness, I don't know if you had this before, James, but I found out that I knew it before, but it's just reaffirmed it. I found out that I thrive under pressure.
Oh yeah.
Almost 9 weeks was just too comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed too far away. And although I was making progress, I was like, wasn't really mentally that focused as I should be.
Yeah. You need a little bit of that.
Yeah, now it's 6 weeks, kind of like fucking laser.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good thing. I can only see it working out for a positive. Whether I'm going to take my leanest package there, it's yet to be seen, but I'm going to do everything I can. So we will see.
I think it's fun for a physique like yours. Like, I think you from my experience of yourself, you come in a good pace as it is. So
you just put a few cheap compounds in the mix that might speed things up a bit. So
there's that, and then there's obviously nutritional adaptations that Jordan and you can make, and training frequency, calories burn. There's so many things you can do. Yeah,
loads, and that goes all the way back to having a constructive off season, so prep's just as easy as possible. We've said this time and time again, but we've been doing this now religiously for so long. I said on a video I did recently that beforehand we can all hit 100%, and I think who had said it on one of his podcasts, we can all hit 100% when we want. But the difference is we are 90% at our worst.
Yeah,
we never drop below 90, whereas some people be 100% balls out, and then they'll drop to 60 or 50 or just completely off the radar. And that's why you see people being spoken about like the next big thing, then they disappear.
Yeah.
I think the reason why we are where we are, especially you, James, is we've just been ultimately consistent.
Yeah, that like you say, 90 plus, always 90 plus. Even on your worst day, you're still 90.
Yeah, that is the difference when you get to the level.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, Jamie, you don't have to worry about any of the swearing. Go ahead and swear as much as you want. But
it's such a British thing. Sorry, it's just us. It's to emphasize what we're saying. It gives it more. If you're saying something and there's a swear word in there, it means you mean it more.
Yeah. Emphasis.
But comparing your last year self to like this year, like how much have you changed in weight, and what can people expect from you this year going into your show?
So if I compare the 9 weeks look to this look, that was 303 when I took my last video. 9 weeks out last year, I was probably around the same weight, maybe 300, bit less, but I was a lot softer. I look like denser this time. I look like I've got a bit more maturity to my muscle, especially from the back. My back looks thicker, and I've hold a nice fullness up top, which has just been a progressive battle to get there. But I don't know, the weight difference not massive, but the look is very different at the minute. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes over the next 3 to 5 weeks.
Now, I just brought up something real quick. When I was getting ready for this, I was watching all your videos, and I was just trying to like get an idea of like everything that you were doing. And I see that you like never wear pants anywhere. You wear a long sleeve or a long shirt with just your underwear on, and then you just walk around everywhere. I saw a dump truck guy like picking up your trash, and you go out and talk to him with no pants on.
I think that might be a British thing as well, James. What do you reckon? You
I do it all the time. It's a British thing, but it's also if you're confident in your quads.
You got a big set of wheels. Why not?
If you know you've got an all right set of wheels, then you don't mind doing it. It's when you've got scrawny legs you can't do it, but that is a very British thing.
I got some shorts on today, and obviously every time you walk, teardrop just boom, boom, boom.
Shut up.
I had to play rugby earlier, and I had to walk across the field to go to the toilet. I could just see all the parents.
I bet you were flexing them on that walk.
What are those?
You were purposely walking onto your heels, so your quads were flexing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What are those things on your knees?
When you're walking around like that, do you ever like receive comments towards you? Like, have people ever said anything?
I don't know, James. I think you can hear people speaking about you, but they very rarely say it to you, don't they?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I've had a few incidents in the past, not recently, but I had a few incidents in the past where I'll be walking with my missus and a couple will be walking down an aisle in the store and they'll walk past and you'll hear them 2 steps ahead say steroids. So I'll turn around. I don't mind like laying it out. Like, you ain't got a clue, mate. Ignorance is bliss and all that. And I think you get more of that. There's more judgment and jealousy because anybody that knows how much goes into this, they know that, you know, that's kind of the icing on the cake. It's an element to something massive.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
How's everything going with you, James? How's everything going for the Olympia?
Good. I'm motivated. Like I said to you, we've discussed, but like obviously watching the New York, we're seeing the New York results and stuff like that. It's a motivation. It's a kick up the arse. It's good to see that the young guys are coming through and dominating. Because I'm one of them young guys. You know, last year I managed to get my place to the Olympia, and now we got Nick. Obviously, Justin qualified the week before. So I don't know. I just feel that the guard is changing in bodybuilding, and I'm part of the new guard. So I'm really excited. I feel confident. I feel like I can go to the Olympia and actually do some damage, like actually be right up there at the top, which is great. Yeah. I actually feel confident for once.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the ass man go up against the foot king.
Definitely. Like, that's what we got to see. I voice noted Nick earlier and the chaps on their WhatsApp, and I just said, because someone said, watch the questions start coming in now where they're saying, will Ian be able to beat Nick? Will Nick be able to beat James? Blah, 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 and all this stuff. I put on like an MC's voice, and I was like, find out when you tune into the 2021 Mr. Olympia. So we're going to find out. When it gets to that Olympia, that's when we'll see who's I suppose not who's the best, but who gets it right, you know? Because they're great bodybuilders. Like, everyone has their strengths. Ian has that tiny waistline and flaring quads. Nick has absolutely crazy amount of dripping muscle. You know, I'm looking forward to us all getting together and just doing what we do. And Jamie will hopefully be there as well. Another big fella to the mix. And again, a totally different physique again on top of that. So you put us all together, it's going to be it's quite a mix. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all you guys together on stage. I think that's going to be absolutely awesome. But Jamie, you plan on going to the Olympia this year, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that was another reason to choose to do the Puerto Rico show, because it's just another chance for me to get points. I am completely honest and, you know, just, I guess, I don't know what the right word is here, but I guess honest explains it enough to know that I don't think I'm quite there yet to win a show. If the lineup's right, if the look's right, maybe, but I don't think I'm there yet. So my view is I qualified this year on points. I'm going to give myself as many chances as possible. I got 2 from the British from last year. I think I get some in Puerto Rico, some in Portugal, some in Spain, and I think that'll be Olympia qualification wrapped up. Because I do think that my physique's progressed enough with the fact that I'm now known because I competed last year, that will be enough to secure definitely top 6s in all those shows. And maybe we will be knocking on off top 3s.
Definitely.
I think that will do the job.
Yeah. Nice.
And like I said to James before, for me, the first Olympia, I think James is very right to have higher expectations for himself in his first Olympia at this point in his career. But for myself, I literally just go there to enjoy it and experience it. And then I think I'll be kind of more where James is next year, with thinking that I can win a show and then going to the Olympia thinking I can do something and break top 10 or, you know, whatever. Yeah. But I'm adamant that I'll be there this year. I'm very much looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
You better be there. I'm relying on it. I need friends.
Yeah, well, that's it. Who doesn't want to rub shoulders with the best and exactly. Not only the best, but your friends as well who you've come up in this sport with. I mean,
I need some British beef for me, so when it comes to the pose down, we can push everyone over.
Yeah, 100%.
When Nick and Ian tried to get one up on me, I can throw the giant at them.
Yeah. I know that in the last couple of videos that Fuad put out with his podcast, I know that he was like James brought it up, like, can Ian beat James and can James beat Nick and that sort of thing. But Jamie, can you beat James?
Do you know what? We're two very, very different physiques. I think with me and James, it literally comes down to judges' preference. Because if they're going to like someone with more muscle, more thickness, they're going to choose James. If they're going to like someone who's very balanced, symmetrical, nice flow, and looks, someone's called me pretty before, there's me. But I have weaknesses that James and people like James can exploit, the funny thing is on Instagram, me and James will say all the time that people on Instagram will point out your weak points like we don't know they're there. We're fucking professional bodybuilders. This is we're living. Of course we know.
We know, believe me. We know. We're the first people looking at it.
Yeah. So I think it very much depends. And it depends on how James turns up and how I turn up. I could be 2 weeks off. James could be on the money. I think if James was like a bit off and I was on the money, then maybe I could pip it. But it depends on the show, the judges, everything. There's so much that goes into it. But if you look at me side by side, James in the gym, then someone will say, James is a better bodybuilder, 100%. I'm sure of that.
I don't know. Like, listen, Jamie's a presence. It depends what you think. Because size can really make you sway to that person's physique. Like the presence itself is enough to make some people think that's the guy. So I don't know. I think you underrate yourself. Like I think you can actually win the show this year and be an Olympia for win.
We'll see. I think another year, and I can cause some people some problems.
Just keep doing what you're doing, lad. You're on your way. You're well on your way.
James, I know that you put out a post recently about some guy complaining about your shoulders. What are you feeling towards that? Do you care what he's saying, or do you take?
I agreed. I agreed with. I was like, I know. I know one thing. I know I'm naturally not a wide person, so I'm like, I get it. But at the same time, it's like if you come on my social media to tell me you'd like me, and then the next line is, oh, but you'll never win anything. It's very oxymoronic and doesn't make much sense. And to write someone off because something isn't, so to say that you'll never win, it's just stupid because you can change anything. I can get wider. That's not a problem. It'll take a while, but I can get wider. So it's just attitude of some people that I don't like. And that's all it is. And I totally agree with the weaknesses that I have. I know. And me and Patrick are doing everything with my training in order to, adjust those weaknesses. But it's not like I only have one weakness. There's many, and they all need attention. And you're trying to, correct a multitude of things at once. And some things are going to progress quicker than others. It's just the way that bodybuilding is. So, I'm all for, like I said, I'm all for criticism. I love a bit of criticism. But I do also know that the fact I'm not the widest hasn't stopped me beating people that are a lot wider than me. So it's like Regan's got wider shoulders than me, but I've managed to beat Regan before. Probably a lot of the lineup. Raf's probably wider shoulders than me. I've managed to beat Raf because there's things on my physique that they don't have, like quad density or back density condition that I have, in certain areas. So you're never really going to have everything, and all you can do is try and have as much of everything as possible. But don't get me wrong, if someone says you need to be wider, I know I'm going to be wider, and I'll make sure I get a little bit wider, even if it's a couple of millimeters or two.
Yeah.
So I definitely take that into consideration. I'm definitely in the gym trying to improve on that. Always. I wish I had Jamie's width. If I had Jamie's width, there'd be no problems.
What about you don't know my calves, James? So we'll take a bit of both.
Yeah, you have a bit of my calf. I'll have your shoulder.
But what about you, Jamie? Do people pick out one body part of yours that drives you nuts, or that you can't stand when people do it? Or are you perfect?
I'm perfect. Yeah. No, I've come to accept that people are always going to say negative stuff from time to time. And I think me and James, being the people that we are, we don't get a lot of negativity on our posts, but there's always the odd one. And as I said earlier, they're pointing out something that we very much well know. So my view has always been, if you're not got anything good to say, just don't say it. But someone's going to say, I got a weak calf, or you should have worked on your calves, or you could do with more hamstring. I fucking know. I'd rather work on one or two weaknesses than everything. That's what I say back, because you look like a bag of shit. I go back at him. I don't mind going back at people because it does annoy me that people go out of their way to be negative, because I'm a very positive person. So I can't really understand sometimes how people's minds work. But at the same time, it's not something I'm going to lose sleep over. I'm very, I always say shorts hide my best feature in terms of my quads and expose my weakest feature in my calves. But that's life. You can't put shorts upside down, can you? So we've got to live with it.
I like that. You can't put shorts upside down.
You could just throw on some like knee-high socks,
Yeah, the socks always do the trick.
Yeah.
You won't see me in ankle socks.
But I wanted to like go back to the New York Pro and like really talk about that, because I thought it was a crazy show. And I know that like even when Nick was on here, when he was like I think 13 weeks out or something like that, he knew like from that far away that blessing wasn't going to be a problem. Like everyone said, like it was going to be between the two of them. And then Nick would constantly put his foot down, saying that like he's not worried about him at all, and he's just going to go in there and win. And he definitely put that right on the money, because Blessing didn't get top 5, was it right? So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that Blessing kind of like made a fool out of himself, or like what do you think he did?
I think it's a hard one. Blessing is a different type of bodybuilder, isn't he? Like, he is an entertainer at the end of the day, and I think he entertained in the lead up and brought a lot of attention to the show initially. It's only in the last part of the show and the show itself where he lost a bit of steam because of the actual package. But I think he did a good job for bodybuilding and bringing interest to the sport. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just unfortunate when you can't bring the physique that you desired to bring. And listen, some of the mistakes that he felt he made of his physique, I've made myself. My first years as a pro, I didn't place for shit. And there were simple things like he made, like one was coming in too down, one was coming in too much. I've done that. It's very easily done when you're not aware of your physique because you haven't competed for a long time. He had 4 years nearly off. But other people may feel differently. Other people might be like, "Oh, you're a clown," and all this. I don't really think he is. I just think he was just doing what he's doing. I think him and Nick probably have spoken since, from what I'm aware of, and actually don't mind each other. To be fair, it was all just part of the hype. Nick smoked it though. Nick went away, improved his posing from last year. I don't think he changed his physique loads since last year. I think his presentation is what really changed. So how he done his front double bicep, how he held his poses, much more professional, much more fluid, much more suitable to his physique. Those adjustments he made, specifically, in my opinion, are what really got him the win. Because like you look at the front double, the way that he changed it, that he's crunching down now and he's rotating his shoulders back and getting more lat pop with more abs, things like that. Like it just made his physique look better, and it was a dominant physique for it. I think he could have won the show he did last year if his presentation was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I think he already had what he needed last year, and he's obviously improved a few percent as well, but specifically in that presentation aspect. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that like the day before, he did like a interview with one of the judges, and they the muscular development guy, and they were asking like what the biggest thing he did was, and then he said that like he was hammering his presentation and just going through those poses all the time, and really trying to get that down. And yeah, I think it really paid off for him.
Did, like I say, often you get a bodybuilder who has everything they need except the presentation, and then they lose. So something like him, I feel he had everything he needed. All he had to do was nail and polish those aspects. And obviously a year of muscle growth doesn't hurt in between either. So he had that on top of the presentation improvements, and it was enough to win. And he's going to go on to the Olympia, and he's going to be talked about, and he's going to do very well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think he did really good yesterday.
He's a freak. He's probably the most muscled guy in the open.
Need more muscle.
Very, very muscular. There's no one carrying muscle like him.
Yeah.
No.
I wanted to touch on the 212 category too, because I know that in the Indie Pro, Nathan Epler got second place, and then he came to New York, and then he ended up winning the show. And I just thought that was a really cool way to like come back and win. And I think that he has a pretty similar story to mine about being like the skinny kid in high school. And like he said that he was getting bullied a lot, but for me, like I'm always just left alone. No one like bothers me or anything and doesn't like take notice. And I think it's just cool seeing where he came from to like what he's doing now. And I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. And I'm sure like if you asked 100 pro bodybuilders why they do what they do, you're going to realize you have a similar reason behind your goals as to them, because bodybuilding for most people takes a life situation to force you into that place. Like bodybuilding is not something you naturally choose to do if you've got a really peaceful, happy life. There's usually a small indentation, mark, scar, or something that sparks that interest in the weights initially, because the weights are a way of healing wounds, and then the bodybuilding kind of follows that. So, like you say, he had a childhood where obviously bullying was very present. I think a lot of people have. I think Jamie, like, even I don't know what your history is with it, but ultimately bodybuilding is a way to kind of improve yourself and pull yourself away from a bad place sometimes, especially for most people. So he's very cool. He deserved the win. There's a few things that need a little bit of improvement, but he had a really nice taper. Lats would pop in. Was good. Condition was good. I was obviously rooting for John Jewett because he's a friend of mine, but he still showed a very good physique as well, and I thought they both looked excellent.
Yeah. Now, Jamie, was your like bad experience your modeling? Because I saw you like doing some pictures of like the Calvin Klein shoot.
That was it.
Yeah, bad times, man. 2010, 2013 was a bad look.
And that was like before you had all your tattoos.
Yeah, some of them were there, but not many of them. But it's good to. This is a great thing about social media now. We've all got these memories imprinted in our phones and timelines that we can just scroll back, laugh at, and remember how stupid we looked.
But like, what got you into the whole modeling thing? Because I'm kind of curious about that. Like, what made you want to do that?
What was it? I was sponsored by a supplement company called NRG Fuel in the UK at the time. And the owner of that, Val was the lady, married to a guy called Adi, who Adi basically ran the company. And Val was very much an advocate of getting this group of young, good-looking people together to model her brands. And she got this like a team of about 5 of us together and called us Team Lean. So it's kind of her baby, and that was what she focused on and wanted to grow and put out there. And it just led from there, really. And then I was a fireman, and then I did the fireman's calendar, which is like something that happens every year in the UK.
Hey.
So I was in that. And that's it, really. I think there's, everybody who's done a show has always had a photo shoot attached to the show, whether it's a professional shoot just as a bodybuilder or a shoot in the gym or a shoot by a photographer that's more lifestyle and underpants and this and that. So I did a lot more of the underpants stuff as I was younger. But I wouldn't say I was like a model. I never got a job as a model and was paid. So it was just more photo shoots on the side that, I look good, so I'm going to take a picture. So I've got a memory.
Yeah.
As I say, a memory that I look back and laugh on.
I never looked good, so I could never do that.
Bodybuilders where he's in shape for 2 days of the year and then off season or bulk.
This is it, mate. This is it.
When you got used to the whole like underwear wearing thing for the modeling, is that why you chose bodybuilding? Because you wanted to wear like a smaller underwear?
Probably, yeah. Lessen down the fabrics even more.
Yeah. How can I make these pants even smaller?
Yeah. I think it's weird, isn't it? Because James is probably the same as me. When you're growing up and you're younger, and you've got a bit of muscle, you want to show it off. But then the bigger you get, and the more into bodybuilding and the more serious you get, is you want to cover it up. You want to wear baggy t-shirts and baggy clothes on.
Mate, I've got long sleeve on. You know what I mean? It's like, don't want to show it now.
Crazy. It's just the shock when you take it off. Then it's like, you didn't know how I looked.
Now, Jamie, you're the first person on here that I wanted to talk to you about this, and it's like the kid aspect of like having a bodybuilder as a father. So do you like mind telling everyone about this? Like, how is that? Like having to travel everywhere and like doing all this whole bodybuilding thing and always being at like the gym and going to these shows. Like, you want to tell everyone about this?
Yeah, sure. So it is undoubtedly very restrictive on what we can do as a family. You know, I'm always dieting or I'm always training. And that's why I have such a vision and plan for the next 5 years that I want to get so far and cut it so I can almost live my life as a father and a family man afterwards. This time is where I work, and then I'm almost living life backwards kind of thing. That's what I say to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very restrictive. I know that bodybuilding detracts from the ability to create a relationship with my son and my daughter and spend time with them and do things that normal parents would. But I see it as very justified sacrifice in the sense that if I can be the best bodybuilder I can right now, get to Olympia and build this brand and like legacy almost is going to last beyond the stage, then that will support our family enough in the future to give us a very comfortable lifestyle where we can enjoy a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's me trying to justify it or make myself comfortable with the situation, but that's the situation.
Yeah, the thing is, Jay, like the only way that it will work out like that is justifying it. Like you have to take that leap. You have to take it. It'll work out, because otherwise you'll never take that leap and you'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of clients and a lot of people that you hear on other podcasts and social media that will say kids first, and I can't commit to the show because I've got to do this with the kids, or you know, I've got to do this with the missus, or family first. I don't know. Like, this makes me so happy. This is my passion. Would I be a better person if I didn't do this and spent more time with my kids and family now? I don't know. I don't think we'd have the lifestyle we have, because I wouldn't be as involved in this to be able to draw out such an income that provides certain things.
Yeah.
So as I say, like 5 years, I'm 40. And if someone said that we're going to retire at 40 and be able to have a good life, I think that's a fucking pretty good thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my sacrifice is very warranted, but that is the situation, and that's why I think some people don't get so far, because they do pull the plug, and whether it's right or wrong, spend more time with the kids, and I don't know. It's very difficult, James. And you know, in the past, I've had a training split that's been different each week. So 2 on, 1 off, for example, will be I train Monday and then I have Monday off, and then at the minute my son does rugby on a Wednesday and a Sunday. So in the past, I would have missed out on certain occasions, but now it's working well because I've got a set split: Monday, Tuesday train, Wednesday and weekends off. So every Wednesday, every Sunday, I can take him to rugby. So, you know, no matter what stage I'm at in prep, no matter how tired I am, I always try and make that time. I'm not saying I don't do anything with my kids, because that would be completely wrong. You know, I'm still here, I'm still present. I just know that I could do more. But at this moment in time, that extra input is in bodybuilding.
It's investing in the future. Like the future that you can imagine and you want to bring into light is going to take all these little sacrifices, because otherwise it won't come into fruition, and then you'll get to that time and you'll wonder why you didn't try. And then it's bad to try and listen. If it gets to where you wish it to get to, then that's great. If it doesn't, you can't be angry at yourself because you tried.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think it's always stupid to like procrastinate and sit back and think I shouldn't. Just like do it. Like regret later. If you're gonna regret it later.
Yeah.
You know.
I've seen your daughter in a couple videos, and I think it's pretty funny when she talks about you with, like, she says that like people at school think that you're like the beta John Cena and that sort of thing. So, are you happy to have her as your daughter? Because if she ever like brings a boy home, you can be like walk up to her, you're like, get out of here, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, we had this recently. She's 14 and brought her first boyfriend home the other week.
Oh man.
When he left, I says, "What did he say?" And she said, "He was a bit intimidated." He says, "Your dad's scared." I said, "Good, good." Good. So yeah, I've had to have a few conversations with a few of the lads that have bullied my son at school, and you know they know who I am, they know who's boss, so nip that in the buds.
Now, before I continue, someone is 45 minutes late to the show.
No way, he's actually here, is he?
Oh yeah, bloody hell! Wow, look at this guy,
man.
Right. Yo, can I
Kuba.
just make one thing clear? Why I'm late to the show?
Why?
You're always late.
Someone was meant to have pictures for Trained by JP Clothing, yeah? But they didn't turn up. They didn't turn up. So I had to do the pictures on my own, all fucking Sunday.
The battles.
Guess who it is? It's like 6'4". Really small heads. Really small heads. Fake teeth. Guess who it is?
Oh God!
Big giant. It reads big giant motherfucker. What do we know? What we're discussing? What have I missed? Fill me in. What have I missed?
I mean, we talked about a lot.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
We're about to go now.
Yeah, I know that James and I are used to this with a guy. I know he was 2.5 hours late to my show.
Oh yeah. Kuba's you're not as bad as guys. You know, my bro. You know that. What were we actually discussing? We're discussing parenthood then, actually, Kuba, and how it is to be a parent, like Jamie's situation with kids and bodybuilding. Obviously, me and you are unaware of that factor right now. We're not in that position, so it doesn't affect us. But you've got dogs. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing.
With the dogs, it's pretty simple.
They go for the walks with you.
What, am I in the car?
No, I said you're doing a guy, Sister Nino, late and in the car.
Yeah, but listen, it's better being late than not actually turning up.
Jordan knows I won't turning up.
Yeah.
Jordan knows because taking. What?
It's your fault. It's your fault that I'm late.
We've got this. This is going in. I'm going to quickly grab a drink while you guys sort this out.
You know what? This guy. Terrible.
I'm just grabbing a drink.
Go on.
No words.
Go on.
You can't. You ain't even messaged me all day. If you think I'm not turned up, then where was my message?
You said you wasn't coming.
So you already knew I wasn't coming then.
Is this the end of the UK podcast?
Yeah, but mate, listen. Right? Yeah. I didn't realize how much clothing there was for men. When we opened up the box, there were about 5 pieces for women, and then it was all men's. And at that moment, I knew that I fucked up. Because literally, I had to get changed. I literally had to get changed about 50 times. There's vests. There's like 4 different vests, 10 different tops, 5 different tracksuits. There's honestly, and I had to do every variation of it in and out of the gym. So I had to do it in front of the backdrop, and then in the gym, walking around. Mate, honestly, I'm spent.
Hey, how many steps you done? 20K?
You are?
How many steps you done? You must be burnt out. You need a refeed.
I'm actually having sushi tonight because I've actually dropped too much weight.
Mate, I'm
actually having sushi.
Kuba, is this the reason why we haven't seen a UK podcast in over 2 months?
We haven't seen a UK podcast in over 2 months because me and James are always ready. And it's Jamie that's always failed. James, me and you are always ready, aren't we?
I know I'm always ready, boys. I'm always ready.
Always ready.
Oh, God.
See, this is what happens when you turn professional.
James is just too busy for us.
Diva. You turn into a diva when you're professional.
I'm 6 weeks out. I'm too low on calories.
He said, "Not had a pizza for 4 weeks, Kuba, for God's sake."
Oh my God, must be the end of the world. He's losing all the games, bro. Get the man some pizza. If you want the UK Pro Muscle podcast back, get Jamie some pizza.
I need it, guys. Come on, sort me out.
I just want to say, the first time I ever saw you, Kuba, I was watching one of your videos with AJ Morris, and you were training legs with him, and he was on the leg press, and you were screaming at him, and ever since that moment, I thought you were so scary, and I can't believe I'm actually talking with you today.
Oh no! I'm not like that. I'm a nice guy. Ask James and Jamie. Honestly, honestly. Yeah, the problem was I was probably having a little bit of tren, and it probably got to the head a little bit during that session. So.
Hey, I saw that movie they made about you, where you went to prison and everything.
Bronson.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, right? Let me correct one thing. The scene where he's actually got his willy out, that is definitely not me. Let's just clear that up.
It's too small.
Too big. Let's just clear that up because
it looked like a broken finger.
Honestly, it literally looks like he's hung like a wasp. So, you know, that's definitely not me.
I need to watch this film. I need to watch the film.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
I've missed these boys. You can see why I've missed these boys, Will.
Yeah. So.
Hey, it's awesome. It's awesome, mate.
Yeah. So before we got here, we were talking about like the whole parenting hood kind of thing, and I wanted to finish that up with Jamie. So I know they were talking about your son going through the whole school thing. Do you mind resuming where you were?
Yeah, so he's been bullied a few times. So I've had to literally. There's one story I said on the podcast that I went up to this kid in the playground when I picked my son up from school, and I bent down by his ear and I said, "Do not say anything to my son again, or I'll kill you." And the kid's like nine years old, screams in the playground, "He said he's going to kill me!" So I got chased out of the school by the head teacher. There's that one. And then there's another kid who, my son videoed him trying to beat him up. So the old saying is, found out where he lived. I went around to speak to his dad. But his dad was a wet lettuce. Couldn't even get his son to come down the stairs. So I actually went into the kid's bedroom and had a word with him myself in his bedroom. So he didn't do that again. It's very difficult because a lot of the times you're faced with situations where at school, kids are kids, but the teachers don't do anything. So you're hearing things about your kids and obviously aren't very nice. And the only thing to do is take things into your own hands, which is maybe going to get you in trouble, but yeah.
Needs must, though. Can't let these things persist.
Yeah, looking this way does have its advantages if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah. You don't have to say as much.
Yeah, you just
let the let the presence do the talking.
Yeah.
Are we generally talking about like getting bullied and stuff in school, or what? Is that the topic of conversation, or just parenting?
Yeah, like because Will experienced some himself, and obviously getting the kind of when Jamie mentioned that his children are kind of been through that as well, it obviously sparked an interest. Like, is it something that you experienced when you were younger? Kuba?
So what? So put a bit of context, right? I was 11 years old when I came to England. I couldn't speak a word of English. I had no friends. I had, mum and dad was super busy working, so I didn't really get any support from them. Yeah. So, as you can imagine, the first pretty much 4 years of me being in England was like living hell. I went to one of the most racist schools in the area, and I was literally the first and the only foreign kid in school at the time. So, as you can imagine, it wasn't easy. From day one, I was getting bullied, I was getting beat up, the people were like spitting on me. Anything you can imagine, they tried to do to me. They used to even egg me on the way to school. So, I think situations like that can even make you or break you because, all due respect to my dad, he was working 12-hour shifts. So my dad wasn't like Jamie. Jamie's a great dad, but my dad wasn't really the person to come into school and, sort it out for me. everything that I had to do, I had to deal with myself, really. But, looking back, would I be the same person that I am now if that hasn't happened? Probably not. Would I have the same resilience to things? Would I have the same character? Would I have even the same work ethic if people treat me like a piece of shit for the first 4 years of my life in England? I probably wouldn't be the same person, So whenever you do experience getting bullied, people are bullying you for a reason, whether that's because they're jealous of something you have or they just don't understand you in a way. So if you're experiencing bullying, mate, it is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. So, one thing you've got to look at is, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing you, and you keep doing you. Regardless of what you do, you're always going to get people that are going to bully you one way or another or try to do it. Even later on in life, when you're a grown man, you're going to have people try and put you down. You're going to have people try and talk shit about you. You're going to have people try and, tell you that you're never going to do what you set out to do. And, people said it about James. People said it about Jamie. People said it about me. And, all we've ever done is proving the motherfuckers wrong. So, if you are experiencing any type of shit you may get, look at what you're doing, and you are doing everything these boys probably wish they could do.
Yeah.
And that is probably a fact, At the end of the day, you're doing what you love. They're probably losers, mate. They would only wish to do what you do. So, whatever type of bullying you are experiencing, mate, one way to challenge it, mate, you have to go through it yourself. You can get support from your parents, whatever. But, ultimately it comes down to you and how you overcome it and how you challenge it and how you take it. You've got to use it. Don't just let it pull wool over your eyes. You've got to have to let it beat you. You have to use it, and that's it.
Yeah. Now, I do.
Wise words from Kuba.
I do jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and those two things are what like really humble you, and it teaches you to like be a better person. And I think with doing that, like I've like never like ever like been picked on people and like bullied other people. I always try and be as nice as I can to everyone, and like with the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, when people are like picking on you, I think that it like teaches me not to like do anything and like go after it, just like brush it off and just keep going, because I know that like outside of school and everything, I'm doing like this whole podcast thing, and it's going a lot better for me, and I try not to worry about it a lot,
That's like Kuba. I know he's loading in, but he used to box and I used to box, and that was more not because you wanted to be a weapon, it's because you wanted to learn that discipline and not be physical, like as weird as that sounds. So you can choose a sport like wrestling, you can choose a sport like boxing, but with the understanding of your own strength and your own power, that is what teaches you actually to be reserved with it and not use it against people.
Yeah,
you appreciate your ability, and
So for me,
go on, Kuba.
what was that?
for me, I got sick of getting beat up. So I was 11. I got my brothers got sick of getting beat up every day at school. So when I was 11, I think so. I moved to England start of year 7, and towards end of year 7 at school, that's when I started boxing. And obviously the school year finished, and year 8 when I came back, is a different ball game then, because the same old boys still tried to pick on me, but it ended a little bit differently. So it's not a case of trying to do that to become the person that that's trying to pick on you. It's a case of being able to defend yourself when it's needed. At the end of the day, mate, it's going to happen through majority of your life. People are going to pick on you one way or another. But at the end of the day, if you know what you're capable of, and you know that what's the worst that can happen, they're going to punch you in the face, and you probably at the time you're not even going to feel it. You'll feel it after. But at the time, it doesn't even hurt, mate. When you realise that it doesn't even hurt, you feel a bit more comfortable in that situation as well.
Yeah.
See, he is actually Bronson. He hasn't disappointed me at all.
Yeah, I know that James just brought up the whole boxing thing, but Kuba, you want to tell him who has the hardest punch power?
Probably Kuba now.
What's that?
I saw in one of Jamie's videos when it was like the bowling thing, they had like the punch meter thing, and Kuba went that, and I got like almost 900.
Oh yeah, forgot it's like riding a bike. You don't forget it.
Yeah. But
if it wasn't so taxing, I would still do it 100%. And when I stopped with competitive bodybuilding in my later years, I'm definitely going to make a bit of a return. To be honest, like I know James likes his other stuff, but I'm definitely going to make a return as an old boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
James is going to probably become. James is going to be a pro skater by then.
Absolutely. No two words about
it. That brings up a good point about like doing other things outside of like bodybuilding. I know James has a whole skating thing that he's doing. But Jamie, do you have anything that you do outside of bodybuilding?
Call of Duty.
Is it just eating pizza?
Call of Duty.
Pizza and gaming, that's it.
Yeah.
James raises a valid point, and Kuba does. I think it was him who said that sports like boxing are very exerting. So I used to play football, but there's no chance that you can do something like that and grow because you just have to eat far too much. So it's very limited what we do for a good reason, and that's so we can have enough rest to grow the muscle. Doing things that involve sitting down is of paramount importance.
Yeah, that's why we get these.
I started doing golf again just a couple weeks ago, and I used to be like really competitive at that, and I was like #1 for a while, and like doing that now, I realize that like because my dad makes us walk the whole thing, so I have to like eat a lot more, and I would like I haven't done jujitsu in over like 6 or 7 months just because I would have to eat so much because that just takes so much out of you, and it's just a lot harder now, especially doing the whole like bodybuilding thing.
That's why if you bodybuild, you can't do unfortunately your passions, your hobbies alongside can't be too physical.
Yeah.
Will, how old are you now, Will?
I'm 15.
How old is Will?
15.
Listen, man, at
15.
15, you fucking got it. You can listen. You can recover from that shit. I don't care what you think, right? You can still bodybuild. You can still train. You can still do jujitsu. You can do whatever you want, and you will recover from it. I can guarantee you that now.
Yeah.
100%.
It's when you get older like us. It's when you turn into a person.
I've got no doubt about that.
Yeah. But that's like my big question.
I'm telling you now, you can. When I hear my thing. Yeah.
Good.
Go on, Kuba.
Go ahead, Kuba.
What? No, I'm waiting now. I'm waiting for you, bro.
I was gonna say, like, my big question is, like, I love doing all these things, and especially like jiu-jitsu and the whole golf thing. But like, is it something like how long do you think I'll be able to do all this? Like, that's kind of like my big question. Like, when do you think like I'll have to drop some things and just focus on what I really want to focus on?
There'll be a cut-off, but you'll notice when your progress starts to stagnate, maybe.
Yeah.
When you shovel in as much food as you can eat, you stop making progress, you stop changing, you stop getting stronger, and then you have to look at other things and think, well, that's a big taxing exertion of my time and energy. Let's see what happens if I pull that down from 3 days to 1 day, maybe, and pull it completely. As Kuba said, you're young so you can recover, but like you said, you've got to eat a lot of food, so it's going to depend on how much you can eat.
Yeah.
That weight needs to be going up, and the more you do, the more you got to eat. So build the appetite.
Just comes down to whether if bodybuilding is truly something you want to do, because
I think
if
that
it is, that's the thing that's going to take the most energy.
Yeah, I know that it's like it's still early on for me, but like right now, I really love doing this whole bodybuilding thing. I love going to the gym and lifting weights and doing this whole thing. And I know, like, adding all this stuff in it makes me have to eat more, and that's not my strong suit. Like, I'm getting better at it, and I'm a lot better than I used to be at eating. But you know, it's definitely not the thing I'm best at. But you know, it's just a lot. But I really think
appetite's your age. Like, you ain't gonna your appetite's not gonna be crazy till you're like a little bit older. I would say. Like, I don't remember myself eating a lot until I was probably about 17, 18. And even then, it's like half of what I was eating now. The older I got, the more I could eat. Because you'll remember, like, your how big you are it also dictates how much you can eat.
Yeah.
Like, you're still only 15 years old, so your body's not fully developed yet. So therefore, you're not going to require as much calories as me, Kuba, and Jamie, because you're not going to be carrying the tissue that we do. So you're not going to have the appetite we have, quite frankly. I when I was your age, I would go out on my skates all day, and I'd live off a couple of packets of crisps and a can of Coke, literally. And I had loads of energy, loads. I wasn't even tired. So the fact that you're even able to force meals in at your age is good. You're like ahead of the game. Because I don't remember me personally at 15 being able to shovel down much food.
Yeah. What? The
only reason why
Go on, Kuba.
the only reason I had a good appetite when I was your age. The only reason I had a good appetite when I was your age is because literally I'd finished school, then I'd be boxing, 2 hours of boxing, then an hour of conditioning, and that was 6 times a week. So that worked an appetite up. So for me, with your question, you need to experience different things for you to truly find your passion for bodybuilding, because I honestly don't believe you will be able to find the true passion for bodybuilding until you've experienced other things. Like, I've always had a different passion, and that passion still lies there. James started off with a different passion, and his passion still lies there. You know what I mean? So, you get to a point where you've got 2 things in your life, or even 3 things in your life that you're really passionate about. Yeah. And then as they grow, you realize that one of them is the one that you start falling in love with more, and that is the one that genuinely you will start to pursue, and you will actually get after. So, in your case, for example, you love jiu-jitsu, you love wrestling, you love bodybuilding, yeah?
Yep.
Continue with all three. Don't restrict yourself, because every day you're doing what makes you fucking happy. At the moment, with your age, it's not going to hold you back with your progress. Without a shadow of a doubt, it won't. If anything, the fire's going to be lit harder, so you're going to have to train harder, and you're going to be much fitter for your sessions as well. So you're going to be able to train much harder anyway. So, eventually you're going to get to a point where you realize, right, this is what I love, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to focus my energy on right now. But you will know when you get to that point. You will know, because you will not have any doubts, and it's going to be a decision that's made by you only, nobody else that can influence you. That decision can only be influenced by yourself.
Yeah, you agree with that, Jamie?
I do, yes.
Who was that prophet today?
I was messaging my daughter to see if she's left the dog outside, because I can hear her barking. But yes, I don't think it's
Showing off now. He's showing off, Will. Showing off. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have multiple passions at your age, and develop your knowledge level for bodybuilding, so that if that is something that you want to pursue more of, you already have the knowledge to take it forwards. What a lot of people do is they find their way through different things and come to bodybuilding later in life with no knowledge. And then it's like 23 years old, don't know how to eat, don't know how to train, don't understand rest or supplementation, and kind of worms. So James said, you're ahead of the game. So just
very
keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah, man. I agree.
Thank you. I
honestly think as well. Sorry, mate.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Let me chip in with that one. I honestly think as well, before you get to a certain level in bodybuilding, you need a degree of things, and I wouldn't say balance, but you need a little bit of something that pulls you away from bodybuilding. Because being transparent, the reason why I am able to be like a fucking total monk right now in the past year, 2 years, is because even when I was competing at a higher level after doing juniors and that, I still had other things away from bodybuilding that I could do. I still, did all parties. I was into a lot of women. You still need to do all these things before you get to that certain point. So, you cannot let bodybuilding restrict you in a way where you don't enjoy your kind of maturity. You know what I'm saying? Because with me, I never drank.
Boats and hoes.
I never drank. I never listen. Let me get my point across. So I never drank. I'm not saying do things that necessarily pull you away from bodybuilding, but you still have to have a degree of balance where you still do the certain things outside of bodybuilding. Odd party here and there. If you do participate in these events, not every weekend, but now and again, it's not going to hold you back at all. And I think if you try and be all in to the bodybuilding game too early, I think that can burn you out.
Burn out. Yeah.
Look at James, right? Like he's not all. James has not always been like he is now. Like James, you know what I mean? I followed James since it was like still probably much in his fucking junior days. So, James has never been just all in with bodybuilding. James had breaks. James had his ups and downs, and I think all that has happened with James has allowed him to be the person that he is now. So don't put too much pressure on yourself thinking that you've got to do it all now, because that time will come. If it's gonna come, that time will come. But you still need to experience a lot of life before you get there.
Yeah, because then the decision you've made, if you do choose bodybuilding, is the right one because you've experienced other things.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, when I think of England, I think of like this like small little place, and so I wanted to like ask, like, how close are you all to each other? Like, are you far away, or are you kind of close to each other? Like, where are you in relation?
I'm the furthest away, and Kuba, I'm like, how many hours away from you and I in a car? 4?
Yeah. I think 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Jamie's not that from you. How far are you two apart?
45 minutes.
Yeah, so these boys, that's why they sound different than me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, so the thing, so like, I wanted to talk about this because after figuring out how far away you are from each other, I wanted to figure out who has the best gym out of all three of you.
They're all good. I'm not going to say anyone's got the best. I think they're all good for what they are.
Yeah.
Kuba's got the most equipped gym. Definitely Kuba's got the most equipped gym, but Jamie's got like a private sanctuary.
I feel like Kuba's gym's like a dance club because he always has rave music going on.
He does like a bit of rave.
Yeah. He likes the music pumping.
Yeah, but then Jamie's got like that private, place where you build a big, like Dorian had, like where Dorian had the temple. Yeah. Jamie's kind of got the same.
Little sanctuary now.
To be honest, I really like Kings, to be fair, for the atmosphere.
It's an atmosphere. Yeah, see, Kings has got the worst kit. I'll admit it. Worst equipment out of the three. Good atmosphere. Kuba's got the best kit by a mile. And then Jamie's got the privacy. So they all have their strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. Like you can go to any one of those gyms and have a good time.
We need Kuba's gym to be private with King's atmosphere.
That'd be mad. We love that. Not saying that the atmosphere in the other gyms isn't good, because they are.
No.
Yeah,
they are very good. Like I've been to Kuba's obviously and trained, and it's excellent. So we're all actually fortunate that we, in our selected areas, we have the best gyms that are available in our areas.
Yeah.
Kuba's like, yeah, Kuba, why ain't you brushing, man? Come on.
My brush is at home. I actually just pulled up.
Speaking of atmosphere, like, what's it like finally having people back in your gym now?
I like it. I think it's good. Jamie doesn't need to deal with that, but yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. What do you think?
I train heavier.
Personally, I think it's pros and cons. I think it's definitely made me consider opening a mini ultraplex, just private for me.
Yeah.
I think after we're just in plans of doing another location. After I've done that, that's going to be the next project, I think.
I think we all need a private facility. I think we're at a point in our careers now where we want peace and quiet.
I just think having that ability to focus.
It's not just that.
Opening.
It's like yesterday I trained and the gym was really. Yesterday I trained, the gym was really busy.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm always nice to people. I'm never going to be a dick, but it was definitely frustrating for me trying to get my workout done, knowing that I've got to do certain things in certain order. Yeah,
now,
pretty much, man. It's like, some of these guys, no disrespect to them, but some of these guys, they're just hogging the machines. They're not really putting the work in.
Yeah.
If someone was on the machine, getting after it, putting the work in, all respect to them, I would probably step in and give them a bit of support.
Yeah.
But if there's 3 or 4 guys stood around one piece of machine talking, having chit chat, doing a set here and there on the phone, that can be frustrating. But unfortunately, I'm not a dick, so I'm always nice to people regardless. But inside I was dying a little bit yesterday. I'm not gonna lie.
Unless it's like at our gym, unless it's like very early in the morning or very late at night, like when there's like no one there, it's just packed and everyone like puts their bag next to a machine saying they're on it when they haven't been there in like 10 minutes, and like people always on their phone just sitting on a machine and just not like using the machine, just sitting there on their phone, and that's what really annoys me. But like yesterday we had to like go during like the peak hours, and it was insane there. There was like so many people, and I don't like it when it's like that. But,
I even had friends turn up at my gym earlier, and they were like, didn't realize it was just busy on Sundays. We came here to do legs. We thought it'd be quiet. And I was like, nah, man, it's busy most days. So obviously they're worried about being able to get on the equipment in the order they want. So it is, that is the one thing that is a bit of an annoyance. I have to agree.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to talk about before we got to like the fan questions, and I saw that Kuba, you put out a video, what was it, yesterday, about you like sponsoring a show. You want to talk about that?
Which video?
It was the one where you were sponsoring a show. It was like the Two Bros thing. The Two Bros Pro, I think.
Awesome. So I always wanted to do one anyway, but obviously I wouldn't have the capacity to organise one myself. So after a chat with Ian, got the opportunity to give him a little bit of support and get them to put the show on in obviously my coaching brand kind of thing. So that definitely was a cool day. Unfortunately, the men's bodybuilding was on really early, and that would have meant me having to wake up at 4 a.m. I already wake up at 5:30 every day, so my schedule is very tight every day. So I didn't really want to, suffer my sleep. So I actually turned up a little bit later for the men's physique and the bikini classes. But regardless, it was an amazing day. I got to actually see the Windsor Castle as well. I went outside Windsor Castle. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
It was a good day, I think no other federation really has made the effort to put the shows on in current climate. They've actually done it in a massive marquee outside, which is pretty crazy, to be honest, considering all other federations have pretty much cancelled all the shows. So, regardless of what people say, some people might moan saying, oh my God, like, why is it in the marquee? Why is it in the Big Ten? Because that's the only way it's possible to be done, and it's still, costs quite a lot. Like renting one of them big massive marquees, mate, costs a fortune. So to actually make that happen, it takes a lot of effort. So all due respect to Two Bros, definitely a great show. Very good turnout as well. It was very busy. So definitely a great day for me, man. To be honest, loved it.
Yeah, nice. Now going into the fan questions, this first one, I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it. And these are from just people from Instagram asking questions. And the first one is, what is the best pickup line that you have?
I ain't got one. Kuba's got plenty.
I mean, with my missus, 9 years, we've been married 7.
Yeah, man. I think you're forgetting we're all like married up.
Yeah. Well, think back before. Just kidding.
I didn't say anything to my missus. My missus showed all the interest in me. Thank God. Yeah. I didn't have to do the work. I was really lucky. It was an easy catch. What about you, boy?
Listen, if it's an older lady, not the girls your age, sometimes you just have to, take piss out of them a little bit. As soon as you take piss out of them a little bit, and it's not straight in the face, you're in. If they laugh at something you say, it's daft, that means their panties are coming straight off. It's definitely going to be. Definitely going to be, ending with.
Wait, he's 15. Remember,
safe protection.
He doesn't need children yet.
I was 15 once. I was 15 once. Let me tell you, I remember when I was 15.
I think he's a very different 15-year-old.
I think you're right. I know for a fact you were. Yeah, I don't think Jamie's been loved. Like I'm like I say, me and Jamie are in the same boat. We kind of been in a relationship so long we can't remember before.
They can't remember when they used.
Just confidence, Will, confidence.
Yeah, and I've always just let the gym do. Listen, I train in the gym. I lift weights. The only women I'm ever going to pull are the ones that are in the gym, watching what I do and like what I do, and that's it. Yeah. You know, if you like bodybuilders and you like professionals and you like people that are good at what they do, then I'm your man. Anything else? No, I'm terrible.
Basically, the women. Well, generally, you've got two types of women: the women that admit they like bodybuilders, and the women that lie and say they don't like bodybuilders. Because generally, they all like bodybuilders.
Yeah,
the bodybuild. Bodybuild.
You know, the only ones that don't like bodybuilders are the ones that have got like fat little husbands that just tell me, "Oh my God, he's gross. You see that big man with big muscles? Like, keep looking at him. Like, oh my God, you see that big man? He's gross. He really is gross." But still looking, and still dribbling, still looking. Husband's like, "Well, if it's so gross, why'd you keep looking at him?"
Who are your top 3 favorite current bodybuilders?
Kuba, Jamie, and James.
Yeah, I like that, James.
Hey.
Yes.
Job done.
Well, I don't know if we can say ourselves though. That's a bit egotistical. But I did say myself.
What about in some like other categories?
Do you know what? In all honesty, I'm a fan of. So in open, I suppose. It's funny because some of the bodybuilders I'm a massive fan of aren't active at the minute. Like Justin Compton was one of my favorite bodybuilders.
Yeah.
I used to be a massive fan of. I even used to love Melvin Anthony back in the day. So I don't know. It's hard because I have favorites now, but most of my favorites are the timeline of when they were active is very different. So you got some from the 2000s, some from the 90s. But currently now, I'm a fan of Ian. Nick's a great bodybuilder. It's really the current crop, isn't it? It's hard to like pick outside of those current guys.
Yeah.
I think they need to ask the question: who's like your favorite bodybuilders of like certain era, of like whether certain bodybuilders like your favorite bodybuilders of now, or like past.
Yeah. James, have you ever done like a session with like Akeem?
No, I'd love to though because Akeem's very strong. So. I'm sure we'd lift some silly numbers, and it'd be fun to watch. But I am actually a fan of Akeem. I saw him at the Arnold earlier last year, and I thought he looked fantastic.
Yeah. Would you rather be trapped inside a video game or have the video game come to life?
Go on, Jamie. You're on this one. Trapped inside.
I'd rather come to life. Real life video game, yeah. That'd be sick.
What video game?
Yeah, what game would it be, Jay?
Real life Call of Duty. What do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. If you can't,
yeah, you got to respawn.
Yeah.
Go to the gulag.
That was all the clothing that I had to do.
Kuba's giving us a clothing.
Show us again. Wow.
My dad.
You got to separate mine, Kuba. Jay's picking up on Tuesday.
Yeah. I've got Meg's present as well.
What? Oh, what?
Oh my God.
What's that, a cake maker?
Cake maker, yeah.
It's a massage tool.
Will, are you happy you invite Kuba on your show?
You got a first podcast anal bead show off.
That wasn't anal beads. That was actually like a, it's a tool for massaging. It stretches the fascia.
The what?
stretches the fascia. I've got it from Derek Farnsworth.
Oh God!
Can I rub it on my
Derek
chin?
Farnsworth, hashtag love honey. Oh God!
When I get Kuba back on, we'll do like a whole love show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're going for like 5 hours.
Kuba and Meg, OnlyFans.
Oh no, Jamie, come on, mate. You know we're not that type of couple, mate. Come on.
I know.
Thing is, they'd be very disappointed if they sign up to mine.
I think this next one's a difficult one. Would you rather be able to travel everywhere for free or be able to eat everything for free?
Kuba?
Travel
or eat? Travel, yeah.
Travel. Food's generally cheap, you know. Travel, that's the one that's more expensive. So, if anything, I would rather pay for food and get traveling for free.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's right. Travel's more expensive.
Yeah.
Would you? Nope. I guess I won't. What body part do you want to bring up the most?
Hamstrings. Bloody hamstrings. I was dreaming.
Everything.
I think, yeah, it's not. I'm gonna have to say shoulders now because this dickhead on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, but your shoulders are massive now, James. To be fair, you know these thing is these people don't realize, like, they don't know bodybuilding, you know. So it's like
Because
like
they don't realize how big my freaking head is.
Mate, it's like me commenting on a golfer's form and basically saying, mate, your swing was shit. Bear in mind, I don't play golf. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kuba, comparing like sizes, like how much did you weigh last year and how much are you weighing around now?
I was pathetic last year, so you know I'm much less pathetic now. So I'm down to 259 now. Definitely a bit of a low. 2 weeks into diet, and the last time I started prep, I was 252, and nice. I was a lot fatter than I am now right now as well. So I started this prep at 265. I was up to like 270. That was my heaviest this time round. Nice. But you know, that was a lot of just, you know, water, etc. So I had to drop a little bit off, but I felt pretty comfortable at 265. So I know next time I push, I'll probably push that to like 275 and just keep going like that. Yeah. You know, my goal is not to take the piss, you know, in a single year. My goal is to, you know, continue making these, you know, smaller steps year to year. So hopefully by the time I'm 30, you know, I'm not as pathetic as I am right now.
Yeah. James, and seeing Kuba with his height, like what size would you like to see him get to?
What, Kuba?
Yeah.
Kuba's like pretty much the same height, I think, as me, so he'll be coming at 260 on stage at some point, and he'll be looking beastly. Yeah. So Kuba's got Kuba's got crazy arms, you know, really good quads. Once everything's like, I know his 260 is going to look massive because Kuba looks heavier than he is. So when he gets to like 260, fuck me, he's going to look 280. It's going to be scary. But he'll get there because I've got there and I'm older. So we have a similar bone structure in terms of like height and stuff. So I think Kuba's got loads of room for additional tissue. Once he gets it, damn, it's going to be hard to beat. It's going to be hard to beat.
And Jamie, do people like often like tell you like that you need to like gain more weight or things like that, like get to like 350 or higher or whatever?
Yeah, every single show I've done. It needs to be heavy. You need 7 kilos, you need 5 kilos, blah blah blah. I guess I always need to be heavy. I've got the frame that could handle far much more muscle than I've got. Realistically speaking, I think if I could get to 315, I'll look very good on stage.
Imagine that on stage.
Well, that's going to be a good 3 years' work. So we'll see. every year I just get better and better.
I don't want to stand next to that 315, Jamie. I'll be retired by then.
Right, last one that I have is how can I get the arms the size of my head?
Don't overtrain them. Guys are overtraining their arms. They're too much arm.
Yeah. You should be accurate with what you do with them. Like James said, don't train too much. If anything, train less to be more accurate.
Really, arms is like about letting go of the ego and just picking an exercise that you can really a good connection with. And I don't know. My arms are like they're not massive. I think Kuba's and Jamie's are both bigger than mine, but they've grown a lot in the last sort of year. And mine's just from simplifying the training.
Yeah.
So not overcomplicating and not falling victim to the urge of at the end of a session, let's do an extra bit of arms. Because when people do that is when they start messing up their physique. Have you noticed that, boys? Like when people throw in extra arm days or extra arm work, that's when they actually start to not progress in that area.
Yeah.
I've seen people throw extra arm days in and literally get smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you just accuracy in it. At the end of the day, generally people that have got small arms just can't train them properly.
Yeah.
You know, you show me a person that's got a weak body part that knows how to train it properly. You're not going to find it. You show me a person that's got a great body part and watch how they train that body part. You know, it all of a sudden makes sense why their body part is so big.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle, you know. I think the reason why my back was so shit, I couldn't train it. You know, I've learned how to train it properly. I've learned how to actually differentiate, you know, what your lat work looks like and your upper back work looks like.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you know, my back's not a bikini girl's back anymore. So, you know, I think you've got to learn. Got to learn and get better.
Absolutely.
Now, I know, James, when you were on here before, I asked you the last question that I asked everyone. But before I get to that, I wanted to ask Jamie about the whole 30-inch pizza eating challenge, and Kuba just left. So,
He's on his phone.
Man, obviously, the videos on YouTube, it was disgusting. I love pizza, but that was just too much.
Yeah.
Never felt so sick in my life. So
I can't believe that kid. Like, you gave him more of yours, and he still was eating it. It's
absolute
insane.
Monster. That guy Kyle, he's on a lot of food challenges, and he put me into bed that day. I need to get him in for a session, to be fair, to rinse him on legs to get some payback.
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you what his biggest challenge was that he ever did?
The biggest challenge he ever did, but he's got a proper regime. You know, this guy's not just turning up and eating these food challenges. He's making it his life, like we do bodybuilding. He fasts. He does cardio every day. He goes through stages of eating very, very little food, like 1,000 calories a day, and then he'll have sporadic days where he eats 10,000 calories a day to, basically get his stomach used to a lot of food.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thinking that goes into it. It's not just something he does mindfully or mindless.
Yeah.
And one last question about food. I saw in one of your videos that you would wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and be stressing about eating your food, and you'd be sweating. You want to tell us about this?
I can't remember if that was me having anxiety or I was on tren at the time. No, there's a few times in the off seasons where the food's been that high. And I know James does the same, where I've literally taken sandwiches and shakes to the toilet and left them on the toilet. So when I wake up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I'll sit there and eat or drink, get that extra meal in. There's many ways that we can get the food in. I think
I do it every night. I do it with Patrick because he's like an 8 meal a day kind of guy.
Yeah.
Every night pretty much I get in the night and wake up and have a couple of slices of toast and a protein shake.
Yeah.
You know.
Why do you think I wake up at 5:30 every day?
That's it, just to get the food in.
Just to get the food in, man. Yeah. Literally, my day has to be like clockwork. Otherwise, I can't get the meals in.
Yeah.
Literally, if my day is fucked by 30 minutes,
that's it.
I'm fucked. So my day literally has to be perfect. Otherwise, even now, when I'm dieting, it's still the same, and it's probably going to be the same for another, probably 6-7 weeks. So,
big dogs.
Yep. All right. So the last question that I like to ask all my guests, and whoever wants to go first, Kuba or Jamie, doesn't really matter. But the question is, it's kind of for people like me who aren't the most popular kid in school, and it's for people that are stuck in life right now, and they have big goals in mind that they want to reach. So what is one big piece of advice that you can give all these people to go out and chase their dream and not be stuck anymore?
I would say start your days with positive mind, and by doing that, and what I mean by that is be motivated by something you watch or listen to every day. And I find there's some very motivating things on YouTube, and if it's in the field of something you're interested in, obviously that's an advantage. But you have to, from a young age, develop this mindset of being very positive, going after your goals, and being very not scared of fear of failure. You're only going to get that by trying, and you're not going to get anywhere by not trying. So I would just say make attempts to be more motivated. And for me, a huge tool is YouTube.
Yeah.
Watch the people you look up to every single motherfucking day and be inspired, and then just, go on your own path.
Yeah. I really enjoy watching your videos, and everyone's here. It really motivates me to like go out, especially watching Kuba screaming at everyone that he's training. What are you eating, Kuba?
It's a face you can't not love.
I've got my smoked salmon and bagels.
Oh yeah, nice.
Who's going to James? Do you want to go or shall I go?
I've done this before.
James was on here before, and
me and Will are old pals, mate. Don't worry about me.
Right, ask me the question again. Sorry.
All right. So what is like one piece of advice that you can give people that are like stuck in life right now, but they have like a big goal in mind? So like, what advice can you give them to like go out and like chase their dream?
Don't think about the goal, mate. Think about what you're going to do to get better, one step at a time. Without sounding like a dick, but I came to England and I had zero chance really. People saying I'm gonna be a loser, people saying I'm gonna be this and that. And 10 years later, 15 years later, they're driving past my gym, still driving a shit car. Even the teachers, the one teacher, Alex Turner's dad actually from Arctic Monkeys, he actually taught my school, Mr. Turner. He always said in like year 8, he said, this kid can be whoever he wants to be. And, that kind of stuck in my head. And, I always knew that if I continue doing what I do every single day, I'm going to get to where I want to be. So when I first started training, the goal was to compete. The goal was never to be a pro. The goal was never to be, step on a pro stage. The goals were smaller when I first started.
Yeah.
And, as you work, as you reach them goals, the goals get bigger. That's always been the case. When I was 16, I spent a lot of time with one of the gym owners. I was training with him every day. So, I'd be training with him at 8 in the morning every single day. And, I said to him, like, look, one day, I'm going to own a gym. Yeah. And I said it in front of like, quite a few of all the older guys, and they all started laughing. They said, shut up, you muppet, But they basically said, you'll be a nobody, Yeah. And they all said it repeatedly. And they all used to, remind me as well. And, now they drive past my gym, in the all clapped out cars, still doing the same shit jobs they was doing back in day, still, leading a miserable life, just talking about others. So, you can be whoever you want to be. And, at the end of the day, any successful person has been in these shoes before. When you look at James when he was 15, do you think James thought he could be where he is now? Probably not. When you look at Jamie when he was 15, did he think he was going to be where he is now? Absolutely not. When I was 15, I had doubts. I thought I was going to be a loser. I didn't really have that much aspirations, but, I had small goals that I wanted to tick off. And then small goals, started getting bigger as I took them off each and every single time.
Really it.
So, you have to start with stepping stones. I think a lot of people, the goals I want to be Mr. Olympia, but they forget all the steps they have to take before they get there. Your goal shouldn't be, I'm not saying don't dream big, but, the forefront of your thinking needs to be a smaller goal that works towards the big goal.
Yeah.
Because without the smaller goals, you're going to get overwhelmed because the bigger goal is going to be so far away, you're going to lose the motivation to keep going. Whereas when you've got these little smaller goals around you, you keep ticking them off, step by step. The goals get bigger. You keep reaching them, keep getting after it and keep getting better.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it without rambling on too much and getting too deep within that shit.
It's the old classic picture of the two ladders, the one ladder with the small steps between and the person actually being able to reach them. And then the one where the spaces in between each step is massive and the person's reaching up can't reach the first step. You can't make your goals out of range. They have to be realistic, but over time, a multitude of realistic goals will lead to a massive goal achieved.
Yeah. Now, the last question I have for you, James, is like, what's one piece of advice that you can give Jamie and Kuba going into their upcoming shows?
As a friend, like I know these two are very much similar to me, and they're literally on the same road as me. And the only thing I can really say to these guys, because I know they've got their head screwed on, is things they already know, which is just concentrate on yourself and believe you can beat anyone. You know, when you see the list of a show and the people coming into the show, it doesn't matter who they are, because they're not. It's not promised. Their win isn't promised. Like last year when I was doing Spain and I saw, you know, Raf, even Rami's name come into the mix at one point. I even believed I could beat Rami. He won the Olympia that year, but I had to believe I could beat Rami. So I don't know, just it's just a belief thing. Like if Nick Walker didn't believe he could win the New York, he wouldn't have. So I don't know. There's always a little bit more of you than you think. I think with bodybuilding, because we're all human at the end of the day, and I don't think anyone's that far ahead of us as much as we think they are. So you know, like Jamie. That's why I said to Jamie earlier. I said, Jamie, I think you can win a show. Like, and I wouldn't say that unless I looked at his physique and thought he could. You know, I've stood next to a lot of people. You know, Regan won Romania last year, and he's an excellent bodybuilder. And I see Jamie currently at that in that place. I feel like a show like that, Jamie could win. So that's why I don't know. I just think just you know, just stay positive and just win. And again, from someone who's lost many shows, losses mean nothing. Losses are just stepping stones, as Kuba knows. Like what we were saying just now about stepping stones. Losses are fine. They don't hurt you. They don't break you. Take a loss like a man and just keep planning, keep moving forward, because we have to lose in order to win. So that's another thing as well. That's it, really. These guys know. I don't need to tell them anything. They know exactly what they're doing. They're on their road to fucking stardom. They're gonna smash people, and I look forward to seeing them to join me at the Olympia.
Yeah. Well, boys, I want to say thank you so much for doing this podcast. I watch all three of your videos whenever you put one out. I always watch them. All three of you are a huge inspiration to what I do, and I think you're all absolutely awesome people. And I want to say thank you for doing this podcast. I want to see a podcast of the UK come out sometime this coming week. So
we'll
you
do
guys better make it happen.
We'll do one too, because we must catch up, because it was actually nice to catch up even briefly today with the boys. So.
Jamie, what's your schedule look like this week?
Bit under pressure, Will. We'll sort
it. Jamie, we
can
see you
Monday, Tuesday. We'll sort it.
Monday, Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday.
The more important question is, Jamie, are you playing Call of Duty tonight?
Mate, the controller and the headset is already on.
Oh,
I'm waiting.
I'm going to eat and then I'm getting on there half past.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Thank you, Will.
This show really puts people together and brings people back together after being separated for so long.
Yeah, it's brought us back together, boys.
But thanks again for doing this. I had a lot of fun. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And thanks again.
Thank you,
Rula.
Hopefully the Americans get Kuba.
Right.
Brother.
Anyone bullies you, right?
Kuba
watch Billy Joe Saunders on YouTube. The little video he did in lockdown on the bag. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Watch it.
All right.
So, straight left, overhand right, left hook. Good night.
Yeah. That broken eye was something.
Well, you need to break the eyes if they bully you.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you any different.
All right.
If not, I'll get the flight over and I'll do it for you. But
all right.
I'll do the dad instead, and you do the son.
Okay. All right.
Nice one, Will.
Cheers, brother. Take care, man.
Bye.
Yep. See you later. All right, thanks everyone for watching, and be sure to remember, Wildebeest Fitness is now on Spotify and SoundCloud. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.